So it's 10 o'clock at night. I am utterly exhausted. I'm about to go to bed. So what do I think it's a good time to do? My wrap up, because I work now full time. So you're gonna see me in all different types of moods. You might even see me in this mood. This is the mood of I call unedited Becca. Normally I try and restrain myself through the camera a little bit, right? But I feel like we've had a relationship here going for a couple of years now. I mean, not even a couple of years, like a year. And to BH, I don't give two shits anymore. Sorry about it. But I don't, and like I'm just gonna be me. So I'm just gonna be me. I'm just gonna be unapologetically me and like just don't even care, like not edit myself. Some days I might be a little bit quieter. Some days I might be like this. Some days I might be worse. Also, I got a new camera, so you're gonna have to deal with like good footage and bad footage for like a couple of months until like I get rid of all my pre-film shit. But then we're gonna switch to this camera, and I guess we'll see how it goes as I'm kind of like learning everything about it. But like it means I can film at 10 o'clock at night, which is great because I work now 9 to 5 as I said. So like my filming schedule has gone down a lot. And this month, September, was the first month that I started work. So I only read 8 books this month, which is kind of crazy. I kind of feel bad, but at the same time I'm like, no, I started a full-time job this month. 8 books is fucking great, alright? Unapologetically gonna swear a little bit too. Sorry about it. So let's get into those 8 books that I smashed out, right? Because 8 books is still good. At least that's what I'm telling myself. So the first book I read was Dog Boy by Victor Keller. Now I picked this book up at the op shop because I remember reading a book from the library last year called Dog Boy and I loved it. And I thought this was a book. It's not. There are apparently 2 books out there called Dog Boy. Probably should have thought about that. And they also kind of follow the same premise, so I kind of just like picked it up, glanced at it, and was like, oh yeah, this is a book. I found out it wasn't when I got home, but I thought I would still read it. And like it was good, but it wasn't the book that like I really liked from the library and wanted to own my own copy. So I think I'll be getting rid of this book, but I did end up rating it 3 stars. It's about a boy who was abandoned by his mother and he grows up in the hands of dogs. There is a village nearby, but the village people reject him. They think he is crazy and weird and scary and that he's gonna bring terror and horror to the village and they want nothing to do with him. But as he grows older, stuff starts to happen and him and the village connect more and he has to kind of discover who he is, wherever he is, dog or human. As I said, I enjoyed it, but I just don't think it's a book that I'm going to reread. I definitely preferred the other Dog Boy book I read than this one, but it was still good. The next book I read was Yellow by Mika Jacobson, and I liked this book, but again I didn't love it. And I hate saying this because I know if Sam is going to be watching this from Oz Fanboy, he's going to be like cringing because this is one of his favorite books. And Sam, I'm sorry, I love this book, okay, I really did, and I don't know what I'm doing with it. Well, I didn't love it though. Like, I liked it. It was great. I rated it 3 stars, but it just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't spectacular for me. Like, I really liked the writing style. I liked the plots. I liked the characters. I don't know why it wasn't like a great read for me. I enjoyed my time reading it. It just, I don't know, it just wasn't anything special. However, I'm still glad that I read it, and this cover though is gorgeous. Like, look at this. Yes, girl, yes. Anyway, this book is about a girl named Kira who's having a lot of trouble at school. Her friends bully her, like she's in the popular clique at school. Family life is kind of all over the place and she's just started getting haunted by a ghost. I'm not explaining this well, but I don't know. Don't really give 2 shits. I liked this book, I did, but again, it just, I don't know, it wasn't anything special for me, but I could totally see how it would be for some people. Then I read a book which completely goes against everything I read because it was one of my favorite books that I read this month, and I hit it a little bit just then. I threw it excitement, but I'm sorry because I really enjoyed this book, and it was called The 1000th Floor by Katharine McGee. I've done a book review of this, so I'm going to leave that in a link down below, so I'm not going to talk much about this book, but like I loved it. I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars, and it's like everything that I thought I would never want to read and never enjoy, but I loved. It's basically Gossip Girl set in the futuristic world. I don't know, but it's so good, guys. So good. Go watch my review and then maybe possibly read it and let me know if you do and what you thought of it. After that, I read 2 books that were a little bit different. I read I Chose to Live by Sabine Dardina and A Stolen Life by JC Dugard? JC? Oh gosh, I'm saying these completely wrong. Both of these are books about when they were little girls, they were taken away from their family. Sabine was taken along for 80 long days, where JC was taken away for 18 years of her life. I enjoyed both of these books, but I definitely enjoyed this one more. I just felt like this this book, skipped for a lot of the stuff, and whilst that's totally the author's choice, I imagine that remembering this stuff would have been horrible and stuff like that. I don't know, I didn't really connect to this book, and I liked it and I respect the author, but I'm just rating it 2 stars and I don't think it's something I'll reread. Rereading this book, it was really great. I really enjoyed it, really got such a respect of the author. I also got such a huge respect for this one, but she also delved into details in here which were at times very confronting, so if that's something that you're not comfortable reading, then I wouldn't. But I also think these books are both important reads, maybe if you're wanting to know more about the subject but don't think you could like go straight into the details, and I could recommend this one, where if you think that you can handle it, then I would recommend this one just because it's so much more. Like, she went through 18 years of this, so it's just crazy, and I'm just like in awe of both of these women, and any woman that, or any person that ever has to go through something like this. It's insane. Like, I think for both of these times I was alive and doing stuff when these girls were taken, and I just kept thinking back to what I would have been doing during this time, and it's crazy. So on that little bit of a downer, I guess we're gonna go straight back up to a great book that I read, I absolutely loved, and it was Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I think after this book I'm all caught up on Rainbow Rowell books except for the novella Kindred Spirits, which I really want to get my hands on, but I really loved this one. It was so good, so cute, and I loved it. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. Rainbow's words and her stories and her characters just melts my little cold heart, and I just love it. This book follows a guy named Lincoln who is a shy IT guy, and his job is to basically read everybody's emails in the company, and he comes across these 2 friends, Beth and Jennifer, and he reads their emails and he starts to get to know them and starts to fall in love with one of them. But obviously he can't confront her and be like, hey, been reading your emails, I really think that me and you should go out together one day. So it's just about that, and it's just so cute, and you get to see their emails and chats together formatted in this book, and I just thought it was so adorable and cute, and I loved it. 10 out of 10 Rainbow Rowell, always bringing me heartbreak and sadness and melting my heart all in one book. The next book I don't have here to show you because I borrowed it from the library, but it is A Catcher in the Rye. I can't remember who it's by, but I also buddy read this book as a side note with Jen over from Gentle Strength. I love her, she's amazing. Go check her out, leave her in the link in description below, or however you say that, I don't know. But yeah, we both hadn't read this book. We were both interested because we know it's a classic, and a lot of people go on and on about it that it's their favourite book and it's been a classic I wanted to read for such a long time. Now, I'm not a big fan of classics, but I thought this book would be good to try out, and so I did. I'm glad I tried the book out, but I just don't think it was for me. You all know what the book is about, and I enjoyed my time reading it. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more reading it with Jen. It was just very slow at the start, and I didn't really connect with the character or relate a lot till the very end. I want to say some things of what I did like about the book, but I don't want to spoil anything, which is weird to say because it's a classic, but again, I understand that a lot of people haven't read it. I hadn't read it until just recently, so I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, I rated it 2 stars. I enjoyed it and I can see why it's a classic. I just don't think it's a book that is for me right now. And the last book I read this month was Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. This book took me a week to get through. It took me so long. I don't know why, I just wasn't feeling this book very much. I was so excited for it, so excited, but then I got it and it's just so confronting, and I don't remember much of the Throne of Glass series at all. Don't get me wrong, I loved my experience reading this book. It just took me a lot longer to read it. It was just so daunting. I actually read like a summary of what had happened in Queen of Shadows, again just to refresh my memory before I read this book. I found that helped a lot, but it was just so long and daunting, and for the first few, like maybe 100 pages, I wasn't feeling it as much. I definitely felt it more towards the end, and I felt it go a lot quicker, especially as I maybe got like here in this book, like this little part of it just went really quick. But yeah, it just took me a lot longer to read, probably the longest it's ever taken me to read a Sarah J Maas book before. I also felt really disconnected from the main character in here. Obviously you all know who she is in this book a lot. I just feel like that she doesn't tell us anything anymore, and I don't know, I like being connected with my other characters, and I also found myself like liking other characters a lot more than I have previously, especially Manon. Now when Manon or however you say her name was first introduced, I was not about her, but but now she's actually one of my favorite characters in this book, which is just crazy, and it's great that Sarah's been able to do that. But yeah, I don't know, there's just something slightly missing for me in this book. I feel like the Throne of Glass series for me is very up and down, like I feel like, not up and down like bad and good, like bad and good, like I feel like it goes from like 10 out of 10 best thing ever to like, yeah, it was really, really good. So like I think I rated the Throne of Glass book a 4 stars and Crown a 5 stars, Heir of Fire a 4 stars, Queen of Shadows a 5 stars, and then this is going to go back to a 4 stars. So as you can see, like they're a mixture of 4 and 5 stars. So hopefully the last book in this series is going to be a 5 out of 5 stars for me. But don't get me wrong, I really did enjoy my time reading this, and I'm super glad that I finally got through this book. So yeah, these are the books that I managed to read in the month of September. As I said, not too many, but I'm still pretty happy with it. And I dropped Empire Storms. Let me know how you read in the month of September, if you did better than me or not. I mean, 8 books, I don't know, it's pretty okay, I guess. Like, could have done better, but to BH, I wasn't kind of in a reading mood for a lot of the month, which is weird. I read every day, but it just, I don't know, I didn't read as much as I was used to. But as I said, I did start a new job this month, so I feel like my body's just being tired and I don't have time to stay up till 3, 4 in the morning to read all the time. But anyway, I'm gonna go like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more book related videos from me, and I will see you next time, okay? Bye! No, you better not be blurry, camera, or I swear to God, if you have filmed this blurry, you will feel the wrath.